forecast today?
Today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Social Beaches. I'm Carolyn Smith.
And I'm Kellie Bowley.
And we are with the Coastal Estate Team with Compass. We sell real estate throughout Brevard County and into Indian River County. So anywhere from Mims, Cocoa Beach, Melbourne, Vieira, Melbourne Beach, and on into Vero Beach. So if you are interested in buying or selling any real estate or you have real estate questions, give us a call, 321-422-2160, or email us at hello@Coastal Estate Team. And today we have such an exciting episode. We're actually going to talk about real estate related stuff, which can be a little dry, but hang in there with us. It's good information. We're going to talk about some various real estate things that are going on. We are not going to discuss the big elephant in the room. And if you don't know what that is, you can reach out to us and we will tell you. But we're skipping that subject. We're going to go right into the insurance crisis.
Yes.
So,
and not just homeowners insurance, because we all know what a crapshoot that is in Florida right now.
Yes.
And has been for some time. But I think something that's not talked about as much is for your auto insurance. I know my own car insurance premiums, we have 4 vehicles, 4 drivers, have increased since January of this year by 45%. And that,
which is insane.
That's crazy
Totally
insane.
insane.
Like to have to pay 45% more, and that's not even a year. That's just like 10 months have passed.
Yeah.
So every time it gets renewed, it's like everybody's goes up. So every 6 months, all the premiums are increasing, and not just by like a couple dollars. It's like significant.
And it's not due to like accidents
No.
or a change in cars or
No.
something that you would think would cause that. It's just they're
It
just
went
increasing.
up. So I can't only imagine if we did have tickets and accidents, like how unaffordable that would be.
Yeah, and I went back to the insurance agent. I'm like, this is insanity. Like, this is crazy. And so we had really high coverage, $1 million worth of coverage on each car. And so I said, start showing me, dropping down from that, dropping slowly down, getting to basically the required minimums with increased deductibles. And it really did not save what you think it would save. And then there's that whole risk-benefit analysis. Like, to save $7 every 6 months.
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it to have that much less coverage? So it's difficult.
It is. And it's something that I feel like, I have definitely used my car insurance many times over the years. I was a not good teenage driver.
Don't say that. Don't tell them.
That was terrible. Yeah, I was not a good teenage driver. I'm much older than a teenager now, so I think,
You still look like
experience.
a teenager. She still looks like a teenager.
Thanks to the Botox. But, lots of experience over the years driving. And, like, living here, I feel like, we have drivers that come into our area from all over.
Yes.
So you get to experience all of the interesting drivers in the area, especially this time of year with the snowbirds coming in. So you learn defensive driving. And I live, like, in a pokey little town, so it's pretty easy. But then I'll get on 95. I'm like, oh, we're doing this.
I got to remember how to be an aggressive driver. Yeah. Well, Defensive driver. Yes. And then the home insurance, we all know it's going crazy.
Yeah.
And your wind mitigation discounts are not providing the same level of discount that they previously did. And there's this article in Yahoo Finance I found where they're basically calling out Ron DeSantis over the insurance crisis and talking about how in other states, which also are hurricane-prone states, states where there's potential for these types of rates, they've put in controls.
Yeah.
And they provide better discounts for the wind mitigation. So if you do the things, you get the discount.
Then you get the discounts.
Yeah.
I think we don't have that here, maybe specifically because the big insurance companies donated a lot of money to his PAC and to his campaign. So
We're getting a little political here, people, but something has to change. Like, that is...
I feel like no matter what side of the line you're on, you want transparency in government, and that shouldn't be allowed.
Right, that shouldn't be allowed, and we shouldn't be having these high insurance rates. People seriously cannot afford to live with these insurance costs. Between the car, the home, and then let's talk about health insurance has just gone through the roof
ridiculous.
now, too.
Like, who can afford that? No, thanks. Mm-mm.
Right.
No.
So you've got more uninsured drivers, which then just causes a problem for people who are insured. You got more uninsured people with health,
Yep.
And they have to go to the emergency room or whatever to get treated, and then they can't pay.
And our medical costs are already ridiculous here.
Yes.
So, I mean, and you'll wonder why you see people crossing borders to go get medical care elsewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we can talk a little bit about prescription drugs because there's no controls. So why is it that in Canada, a drug that costs $1,300 here costs $500 in Canada? Still expensive, but the difference, or in Australia, or in Norway,
And it's
or
the
in England.
same drug
Yes.
made the same way.
Same
By the same
manufacturer.
manufacturer. It doesn't make any sense that, you know, people in one country can pay a lower price.
That
for
much
it.
lower.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not talking about, 10
bucks.
cents cheaper. Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, that medication can also be different prices at different pharmacies, you know, $100 or $200 apart.
Why not? Yeah.
You know, and I get, you know, there's a base price for it. I understand that they're all paying a base price, and then they can add on whatever they're going to add on for their profit. But why are pharmacies allowed to profit on prescription medications? Can there be another way that they're making their money?
Right. I mean, or a set amount that they make on the prescriptions because it
Like
is
a wholesale
insane.
price and then a retail price. It should just be fixed, you know? Apple's really good at this. They're like, this is what the phone costs.
Right.
It does not go on sale.
And Apple isn't having a problem with their finances or their profitability. At least I don't think they are.
As far as I know, they're not.
Yeah, they're doing pretty darn good. So,
Yeah.
All right. What's our
Enough
next
whining
topic?
about insurance.
Yes. Next topic we want to whine about is is gas stoves. Because, you know, and it's funny because we started hearing about, you know, this kick to ban gas stoves.
Which is weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they've been around forever.
Yes.
Both of my grandparents had gas stoves. I learned to cook on one. I've never owned one in my own home because
I
I'm afraid
have,
of fire.
yeah.
But the flame, I don't like. Keep that
Yeah.
outside on the grill. But
Yeah.
it's interesting that I guess it's the benzene.
It's
in
the benzene. So they're saying that it is equivalent or worse than living with a smoker. It's worse than secondhand smoke to cook on a gas stove.
Wow.
So that's a study Stanford University just came out with. I mean, this literally just came out on November 5th. And so you're going to see continued push to ban gas stoves. So then what happens to all the people with gas stoves? Do they have to buy new stoves? What if it's not wired for electric
Is
there?
that only for gas cooking and it's not applicable to like other gas appliances like your tankless water heater, for instance? Or
but the
your
tankless water
furnace?
heaters are generally outside.
Typically.
Yeah, so they're outside. But your dryer, what about gas dryer?
Yeah.
That's inside.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just studied, the study that I found was just about stoves. And it says the home appliance that spews more benzene than secondhand smoke, you're at elevated risk of cancer and things like leukemia and things like that. So
Wow.
it is dangerous. And, you know, an alternative is your induction cooktop.
That's really popular. It's expensive. And I think some people have to then also not just purchase the appliance, but then you have to get a whole new set of pots and pans that
It
are
has to be
induction
magnetic.
friendly.
Yeah, it has to
Yeah.
be magnetic. But it is cool because supposedly you can regulate to the same level as gas. So you can
Yes.
make it like a true simmer, like a very, very low heat. And the high gets hot immediately. And the other cool thing about induction is when you take the pan off and you put your hand down immediately.
cool.
So they're very, very child safe. And also, I mean, elderly or dumb people like me who just like don't remember and don't look at the little red light and decide they're going to clean the cooktop immediately.
Yeah.
Like burning the paper towel
Right.
sets on fire. So things like that. But yeah, so
That's interesting.
yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think that's coming. I think that's coming, the banning of the gas stove. So if you have a choice.
You know who will be the first state to ban it? California.
Yes.
They're the first ones.
They ban
always.
everything.
Yes. All of the unhealthy things.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just haven't figured out how to deal with their homeless population, but that's a whole nother issue.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And then what? Finally, for this one, we have our drop in mortgage rates last week. They plummeted a whole what?
0.5%.
Yeah, 0.5%.
0.5%. But the Fed decided two meetings in a row not to raise interest rates. And the economic data coming out, the jobs market is not what they thought.
Right.
Shocking. We've been saying this. That's like not as good as they think. So the jobs market isn't as good. And inflation has really hurt people, so they're not spending.
Yes.
Everyone was like, oh, people are still spending. I don't know about y'all, but I was not spending.
No.
I had stopped spending.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've all really, really cut back and
Kinda
really
like
tried to
reined
find
in our
ways.
budgets or
Yes.
trying to make budgets and figure
Yes.
out what can we live without.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's really happened. So they're saying when they meet again in the spring, I believe, that they believe they might actually lower the interest rates.
Fingers crossed.
So we are hopeful that it's not a direct one-to-one correlation between the interest rates that the Fed sets and the interest rates on your mortgage. It has a lot to do with other things, but there is, and they said that they already factored in an anticipated drop in the spring. So they've kind of factored that in, which is why they fell by 0.5%.
Yeah.
So now they're at what, 7.5?
Around there.
Something like that.
7.5.
They've backed off of the 8%. So
I mean, that's a good move in
Yes.
the right direction.
Yes.
Just keep on coming down.
And if you have to buy a house, still go buy a house. Negotiate on the other things that you can negotiate on. You can't negotiate on
Right.
interest rates, but negotiate on price, negotiate on terms, negotiate on things you can negotiate on. Get the best deal that you can possibly
Maybe get some seller concessions and buy your rate down a little bit. I mean, you're not going to be able to buy it down to, a 3%. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. People call us and ask about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How do I buy my rate down to 3%? You don't.
It's not possible. So, not currently. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's offering that.
Yeah. So, but I think that's it. That's our exciting real estate news. If you have questions on real estate, please call us. We're happy to answer or comment. You can find us on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're on everything.
Pretty much.
And we've been getting some fun comments. And I get riled up once in a while. And Kelly we have to calm each other down. I'll get all riled up and start responding to the comments, and Kelly's like, let it go.
Yeah, it's
let
not
it go,
that
Zen.
important.
And then sometimes she gets riled up, and I'm like, let it go.
Right. Yep. It's a good checks and balances system over here.
So, but we keep the comments coming. We do love them. So that's it, right?
Yep. See you next time.
See you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.